गुजत कोकिल संसार सुगन की मयूरा खुली नाना रत्न निबद्ध मूल विटप श्रीयुक्त वृंदावनी
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Very inspiring to see how things are evolving for us in the Prabhupada Disciples Association, Hare Krishna Society. And this is all by the grace of Prabhupada and Lord Sri Krishna. This is not a concocted movement of devotees, but a group of devotees following in the footsteps of our spiritual master. And that is the essence of the position of a disciple. Not to manufacture anything. I was looking at a video recently given by Shyamasundar Prabhu. It was some years ago, I believe, and Govinda Dasi. It was very inspiring because they were referring to incidents with themselves personally with Srila Prabhupada where he insisted, do not change anything that I've presented, especially in my books. So this message of the unadulterated, unedited versions of Srila Prabhupada's teachings are critical for the bona fide disciples to follow. Prabhupada said, do not manufacture. Where is the authority? When you're a third-class person and you manufacture a different interpretation of the Bhagavad Gita, just like has been done by certain God brothers, without authority. Well, of course, they've twisted the truth. They've misrepresented the philosophy for personal ambition. And this is a tragedy beyond words for us bona fide disciples of Srila Prabhupada. And therefore, we request everyone to constantly work towards presenting the truth to other people in this matter without any hesitation, any fear of being dismissed, of being criticized, or banished for all of that. Banished from what? A ship that's sinking? You've been saved. We're on the boat of transcendental knowledge. based on the teachings of the bona fide spiritual master without adulteration. That's not banishment. That is freedom. And we are fortunate, everyone, that we have somehow or other landed on this ship of truth, because truth is what the devotees of the Lord desire to hear, and they desire to present to others, not mislead them. So truth is really what we all seek. And this truth, as it said, will set you free. It'll enable you to make advancement without any delay in the process of Krishna consciousness. Yes. And you'll see it in your own life. And we want to thank everyone that does attend the classes on time. I mentioned that today. Somehow or other, we have a very loyal group of people. We don't have a lot of people. We understand that. And we do want more people to subscribe. So please, if you get a chance, we have a brochure, a flyer that we distribute to everyone for printing. And you can use that flyer to invite other people to attend these classes. Give them a chance to get association with bona fide disciples of Srila Prabhupada, because we are bona fide disciples and we follow the regulated principles. Yes. And we chant our rounds every day. Yes, we do. All of us here. And we study the books on our own. Yes, it's very enlivening to read them together. And it's also very enlivening to read them on our own. And we distribute prasadam to other people. Yes, we do. We do it properly. We offer the 3 prayers. And Yashodanandana Prabhu has so graciously been guiding us in how to offer bhoga to Srila Prabhupada and have it accepted by Kṛṣṇa, and then we can distribute it to others. That's a great benediction for other people, and not only for other people, for ourselves. Because when you cannot know Krishna consciousness by mental speculation, nor can you know Krishna consciousness by mystic yoga. No. That doesn't reveal the truth to you. The truth is revealed by having a bona fide spiritual master like Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and by following in his footsteps, no deviation. So this is a very important point. So we want everyone to promote this channel to others through subscription. We're on the YouTube channel, Hare Krishna Society YouTube channel. We want more subscribers, please. And those subscriptions will come about by your promotion of these classes to other people. So if you have a pamphlet from us, if you don't, you can request it from us and we'll send it to you and you can print it out. I don't have one here right in front of me. But it's an invitation. So get the invitation. There are a lot of things you could talk to people about it, but if they just come to our program, they'll get the understanding of what we're doing and how they can get involved with it and become a part of this exciting revival of Srila Prabhupada's mission. This is what we're doing. Like someone was saying, well, what do you do? Well, we have branch offices. If you want to have a branch office, we'd be interested in discussing it with you. There's not a lot of rules behind the branch office, but there's a few things that we'd like you to do as a branch office. One of them is to help us distribute the Srimad Bhagavatams that we're moving towards getting printed very soon. And that will assist in our pleasing Srila Prabhupada by distributing his original Delhi Bhagavatams, which is an amazing thing. I wanted to remind you that the Guru Puja offerings are coming in. Thank you for writing them up. Please write your offering and send it in to us, either to myself or Yashodanandana Prabhu, and we'll give the email addresses. Or you can post it at the Hare Kṛṣṇa, I believe, at the Hare Kṛṣṇa Society website, which is a very detailed website that gives understanding philosophically of the position that we're taking in presenting this philosophy to others. So you can send it there. But please send in your offering. It's very soon. Janmashtami is on the 26th of this month, and the following day is the Vyas Puja offering. So please send in your offerings. We're having an initiation ceremony in, we may have a few, I'm not sure. There's a lot of people coming forward that want to become bona fide disciples of Srila Prabhupada through the formal initiation. And yes, formal initiation is very important for the committed devotee. For those that want to follow, that's okay. But if you want to become part of the mission, then we recommend you become initiated formally through the Ritvik system. And we're going to be having one in Mexico in February, under the request of Kṛṣṇa Kishore in Mexico. And he has a couple of people want to get married there. And then there's 5 or 6 people planning for initiation. And we have other people from around the world that are going to be flying there to join us. So we look forward to a big festival of Prabhupada disciples, with kirtans, prasadam feasts, and lectures, and a fire sacrifice, and all kinds of blissful experience for people that want to participate with us in person. That's one thing. But remember this, I just wanted to remind everyone that when Prabhupada was in New York City, at the beginning of opening up his 26 Second Avenue center, he was conducting 3 classes a week. So we are also doing that as part of our program, and we highly recommend that you continue to stay diligent in your participation and come on time, please, to the class. This shows a better understanding of commitment. If you come later, that's okay, but it's better to start with us and finish. We'll try to end at 11:30 this morning, although our conversation, Yashodanandana Prabhu, as you know, gets quite involved and engaging for quite a few of us. And I try to keep the time at 11:30, but if it does go past 11:30, we apologize. It's just the way it goes. And you know, it is our group, and we are together, and we want to give everyone a chance to speak and be a part of the mission and the conversation. Help in the hosting of the class. We're still looking for someone to assist us. We have someone that's committed to the Wednesday program, and we're hoping we can have him take that role very soon. And we have an instruction email that'll give you detailed explanation on how to become involved using the technology to assist us in the propagation of this mission. Very important. We want to carry it on. We don't want it to stop. And, you know, that requires help from others. So please, if you can do that. And finally, before we go to the diaries, we have branch offices. I think I mentioned that. And if you'd like to be included in the branch offices, let us know. And we'll put you on the list at the end of the program, and then you can get in touch with us what you need. We also have an oath of allegiance that we're going to release again towards our group, because especially for the people in the branch office. We want people, it's copied off of the, in a sense, been modified by the oath of allegiance that was put up in 1972, I believe, Yashodhanandana Prabhu. I think Treya Rishi and a couple of devotees put it together. I thought it was a good idea for us to have an oath of allegiance so we know what we're committed to. We want everybody to be on the same page, not everybody all over the place, here, there, everywhere. This is a team building environment where we want people that are on the same page, working together cooperatively and fulfilling the mission of Srila Prabhupada through this cooperation. Not everybody on their own page. That's not going to work. You're an island unto yourself that way, and cooperation works better. So we're going to go now. That's enough for that. We're going to go back. Now we're at, guess what, everyone? Guess what? We're at the last page of the Jaladuta diaries already. Just how time marches. Now, no harm, because next we're going to move to all the pastimes that Prabhupada has written in the beginnings, which is the story, the continued real life story of the unfolding of the mission from July 1965 and onwards to 2024, where we're at today. So this is beyond time and space, everyone. That's what Kṛṣṇa conscious service is. So we'll go, the following is an excerpt from a letter to Hanuman Prasad, my eyes, Podar, who was the head of the Gita Press, a prominent publishing house in India, which specializes in religious literature. Very interesting. We're also working with a company in Calcutta right now for our printing, and they also specialize in this. So this is a good thing. Los Angeles, February 5th, 1970, to the Gita Press, Gorakhpur. Very interesting. My dear Baji Hanuman Prasad Podar, please accept my obeisances. I hope by this time you have received my acknowledgement dated yesterday for your letter dated 26th of January, 1970. As you want to publish a comprehensive article about my activities in Kalyana, I think it is proper to give you a short history of my coming to the Western world. Sometime in the year 1922, when I was acting as the manager of Dr. Bose Laboratory Limited, I was fortunate enough to meet my spiritual master, His Divine Grace, Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paribrahmacharya 108 Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. On the very first meeting with His Divine Grace, he asked me to preach the message of Lord Chaitanya in the Western world. At that time, I was a young man and a nationalist admirer of Mahatma Gandhi and C.R. Das. So I replied him at the time, who would care for the message of Lord Chaitanya while we are a subject nation? In this way, I had some argument with my spiritual master, and at the end, I was defeated. But at the time, because I was already married, I could not take his words very seriously. In this way, I passed on as a householder. But by the causeless mercy of my divine master, that order of preaching was impressed on my heart. I was initiated regularly in 1933 at Allahabad, where Sri Malcolm Haley, the then governor of UP, opened our Gaudiya Math branch there. Then in 1936, my spiritual master left this world, leaving a message for me that it would be better for me to preach in English language. So I was thinking very seriously. Are we getting it there? Are we there? Okay. And then as late as 1944, I started my paper, Back to Godhead. Whatever happened to the Back to Godhead Yashodanandana Prabhu? Gradually in 1954, I retired from my family life and began to live alone in Mathura, Vrindavan. In 1959, I was awarded sannyas by one of my godbrothers, His Holiness B.P. Keshava Maharaj. Then I began translating Srimad Bhagavatam in 1960, and perhaps in 1961, I was your guest in the Gita Bhashya. You were very kind to help me partially for publishing my first volume of Srimad Bhagavatam through the Dalmia Charitable Trust. Kṛṣṇa Katha, that's very interesting, eh? Maybe we should talk to them, I'm not sure. With great difficulty, I then published the second and third volumes of Srimad Bhagavatam until 1965. Then I prepared myself to come to this country with some books. With great difficulty, I was able to get the P form passed by the controller of foreign exchange. In some way or other, I reached Boston on the 17th of September, 1965. I was thinking while on board the ship Jaladuta, why Kṛṣṇa had brought me to this country. I knew that the Western people are too much addicted to so many forbidden things according to our Vedic conception of life. So out of sentiment, I wrote a long poetry addressing Lord Kṛṣṇa as to what was his purpose in bringing me to this country. At that time, I was sponsored by a friend's son, Gopal Agarwal, who settled up in this country by marrying an American girl, Sally. So I was their guest, and I feel very much obliged to Gopal and his wife, Sally, for their nice treatment and reception. Amazing. The benediction they had to serve Srila Prabhupada in those first days brings tears to my eyes, actually. I was with them for 3 weeks in Butler, near Pittsburgh, and we all know Butler these days, Pennsylvania, and then I came to New York. I was getting some money by selling my Srimad Bhagavatam. Thus, I was maintaining myself in New York. After some time, yes, I rented one apartment at number 173, 71st Street West. But after a few months, all my things, typewriter, tape recorder, books were stolen. Now that room was just an office room with no bathroom and no kitchen facilities, everyone. So as we all know. But then for some time, one of my students gave me shelter at the Bowery Street. Yes, someone was interested, but he was addicted to taking LSD. Then I rented one storefront in an apartment at 26 2nd Avenue for $200 per month. But without any source of income, I started my classes, and sometimes on Sundays, I used to chant Hare Kṛṣṇa mantra in Tompkins Square Park from 3 to 5 p.m. During this time, all the young boys and girls, yes, they were young, used to gather around me. Sometimes poet Ginsberg would come to see me, and sometimes a reporter from the New York Times came to see me. In this way, the Hare Kṛṣṇa mantra chanting became very popular on the Lower East Side. In this way, the younger generation became attracted, and gradually many branches were opened one after another. After New York, the next branch was opened in San Francisco, and then in Montreal, then in Boston and Los Angeles. And we have now the following centers in the States: Canada, Europe, Japan, and Australia. Well, the ongoing story of Srila Prabhupada's mission will unfold to us as we begin the next volume of the diaries on tomorrow's class at Srimad Bhagavatam. Let's move forward with the chanting of Jaya Radha Madhava, a bhajan that Prabhupada chanted before each and every class. And we look forward to this discussion and reading headed up by His Grace Yashodanandana Prabhu in California. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Say.
Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Nandana. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Nandana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira
Samad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivas Adi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Sri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Giridhavan ki jai. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Navadvip Dham ki jai. Swami Ito Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Ganga Mai ki jai. Jamuna Mai ki jai. Tulasi Devi ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Swami Ito Bhaktivinoda ki jai. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Narayanam namaskritya. Narayanam namaskritya. Naram cheva narottamam. Naram cheva narottamam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayat. Tato Jayam Mudirayat. One should utter the means of conquest, Srimad Bhagavatam, after offering respectful obeisances, one, to the personality of Godhead Narayana, two, to the Narayana Rishi, who is the supremmost human being, three, to the Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, then four, to Srila Vyasadeva, the author, from Srimad Bhagavatam 1-4. Before we proceed, I just want to address one question which was posed. Then when we have this Bhagavad Gita reading and discussion, why do we recite a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam? Well, that particular verse is also included in the Mahabharata, in the beginning of the Mahabharata, and the Bhagavad Gita is within the text of the Mahabharata. It was spoken on a battlefield. It's within the body of the large Mahabharata. That is why we offer our respectful obeisances with this particular verse, which is applicable both for the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam. As we do every week, we will be reciting a few selected verses from the Bhagavad Gita itself, from the introduction. These verses were presented by Srila Prabhupada himself in 1966 when he started his preaching mission in New York. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasme Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with a torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet? Vandeham Shri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Anvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master and unto the feet of all Vaishnavas. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami, along with his elder brother Sanatan Goswami, as well as Raghunath Das and Raghunath Bhatta, Gopala Bhatta, and Srila Jiva Goswami. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, along with Advaita Acharya, Gadadhar Srivas, and other associates. I offer my respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna, along with their associates Sri Lalita and Vishaka. E Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. O my dear Krishna, you are the friend of the distressed and the source of creation. You are the master of the gopis and the lover of Radharani. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. I offer my respects to Radharani, whose bodily complexion is like molten gold, and who is the queen of Vrindavana. You are the daughter of King Vrishabhanu, and you are very dear to Lord Krishna. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namaham. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and who are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome everyone to this reading and discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. As we do every week, we mention that this reading is being conducted on a basis of the original, non-adulterated, non-edited, non-interpolated original edition of the Bhagavad Gita as it is, the 1972 Macmillan edition. All synonyms, translations, and purports by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, also known as the Krishna Consciousness Movement. This week, we will be reading from chapter 11 of the Bhagavad Gita, text number 41 and 42. I'll read the text slowly so you may follow, and then we will read the word for word and the synonyms. Saketi matva prasabham yaduktam He Krishna he Yadava he Saketi Ajanata Mahimanam Tavedam Maya Pramadat Pranayena Vapi Yakshabaha Sartam Asatkritosi Vihara Shayasana Bhojaneshu eko tavapi achutat samaksham takshamayitvam aprameyam. Saka, friend, iti, thus, matva, thinking, prasabham, temporary, yat, whatever, uktam, said, he Kṛṣṇa, O Kṛṣṇa, he Yadava, O Yadava, he Saka iti, O my dear friend, ajanata, without knowing, mahimanam, glories, tava, your, idam, this, maya, by me, pramadat, out of foolishness, pranayena, out of love, va'api, either, yat, whatever, cha, also, abahasartam, for joking, asatkritaha, dishonor, asi, have been done, vihara, in relaxation, shaya, in joking, asana, in a resting place, bhojaneshu, or while eating together, ekaha, alone, atava, or, api, others, achyuta, O infallible one, tat samaksham, as your competitor, tat, all those, kshamaye, excuse, tvam, you, aham, I, aprameyam, immeasurable. Translation: I have in the past addressed you as O Kṛṣṇa, O Yadava, O my friend, without knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times while relaxing or while lying on the same bed or eating together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. Please excuse me for all my offenses. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Although Kṛṣṇa is manifested before Arjuna in his universal form, Arjuna remembers his friendly relationship with Kṛṣṇa and is therefore asking pardon and requesting him to excuse him for the many informal gestures which arise out of friendship. He is admitting that formally he did not know that Kṛṣṇa could assume such a universal form, although he explained it as his intimate friend. Arjuna did not know how many times he may have dishonored him by addressing him as, O my friend, O Kṛṣṇa, O Yadava, etc., without acknowledging his opulence. But Kṛṣṇa is so kind and merciful that in spite of such opulence, he played with Arjuna as a friend. Such is the transcendental loving reciprocation between the devotee and the Lord. The relationship between the living entity and Kṛṣṇa is fixed eternally. It cannot be forgotten. As we can see from the behavior of Arjuna, although Arjuna has seen the opulence in the universal form, he could not forget his friendly relationship with Kṛṣṇa. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Bhakti Siddhanta Shishyaya Bhakti Vedanta Namine Prasannaaya Prashantaya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Bhagavad Vandanam Kadyam Guru Vandana Purvakam Kshiram Sarkara Yuktam Kadatehi Visheshatah Adadana Danteridam Yache Punaha Punaha Srimad-Rupa Padam Bhoja Dulisyam Janma Janmani Amsho Bhagavatusmyaham Sadadasu Asmi Sarvata Tat Kripa Pikshako Nityam Tat Preshta Sat Karomi Svam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Here Arjuna is explaining very nicely the position of his friendship with Krishna. It's very important to remember, Prabhupada is explaining, although Krishna is manifested before Arjuna in his universal form, Arjuna remembers his friendly relationship with Krishna and is therefore asking pardon and requesting him to excuse him for the many informal gestures which arise out of friendship. He is admitting that formerly he did not know that Krishna could assume such a universal form, although he explained it as his intimate friend. Now, the relationship between Lord Krishna and Arjuna is very deep. Sometimes people become astonished how God himself could have a friend, an intimate friend, a close friend. And in the case of Arjuna, Krishna is manifesting his universal form. What is interesting here is that in the Mahabharata, Srila Prabhupada has explained also in different lecture, how Lord Krishna tried to prevent the Kurukshetra war, that he personally himself went to visit Duryodhana and requested him to give the Pandavas just 5 villages, avoid the war, and let him be. Why fight? And Krishna actually showed his universal form to Arjuna. This is in the Mahabharata, to Duryodhana. He manifested that whole universal form to Duryodhana. But Duryodhana could not understand. He was such in a feverish state of mind, in such a belligerent mentality, envious mentality against the Pandavas, that he could not understand or appreciate Krishna's position. Now, if we fast forward during the actual battle of Kurukshetra itself, before the battle, Krishna actually showed that universal form here, and Arjuna is explaining, oh my God, my dear Lord Krishna, I've befriended you. You know, he says, please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I've dishonored you many times while relaxing or while lying on the same bed or eating together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of my many friends. Please excuse me for my offenses. It's interesting because in the process of deity worship, it is recommended in the Hari Bhakti Vilas by our Vaishnavacharyas that after doing deity worship, one should offer a set of prayers, which is a request to be forgiven for any offenses. And one of these prayers is a prayer, it's very touching actually, which Draupadi offered to Lord Krishna when the Kauravas attempted to disrobe her and insult her. And she says, Pratignatava Govinda Name bhaktaha pranashyati iti samsmritya pranam sandarayamyaham. That my Lord Krishna, you have promised, Name Bhakta Pranashyati, that your devotee will never perish. And she says, Iti samsmritya, by remembering this again and again, pranam, my life, I'm sustaining my life. So in other words, this is the mindset of a devotee. Of course, these are very exalted souls, liberated souls, eternally liberated devotees. But the mindset is a mindset of humility, of modesty, of always thinking to be respectful towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And this is very important because occasionally, as part of this program, we do receive comments from some well-wishers or sometimes from some critics or from devotees who are basically not quite understanding what our preaching platform is or our preaching thrust. We have repeatedly said, and I know that Vishwakarma Prabhu has made this very clear in many of his brief explanations, that the aim of this association and alliance is to present the original, pure, unadulterated teachings of Srila Prabhupada and to preserve his Vani incarnation, his literary legacy. And as part of this, we repeatedly emphasize that devotees should take full shelter of, exclusively worship Srila Prabhupada, read his original non-adulterated literatures, his original books, engage in service, worship Tulasi, read Srimad Bhagavatam, offer the Bhoga in the exact way that Srila Prabhupada taught, and in this way make progress in devotional service. Now, there may be that in the past, many of us or some of us may not have been perfect in our sadhana. Some of devotees have accused us of being arrogant, of being puffed up, of being conceited. To whatever extent that may be true, well, that is not what we're trying to do, to be arrogant or puffed up. We are just trying to present Srila Prabhupada's original teachings. Incidentally, I just want to comment, there's a very nice devotee here with a beautiful picture of Lord Kṛṣṇa, Damodar. I think it's Pietrangelo, of whatever the name is. You have a red sweater, Hare Krishna. It's just a very beautiful painting.
Jai Prabhupada.
It's just a very sweet painting of Lord Damodar breaking free from the mortar. Very, very sweet, beautiful painting. In other words, what I'm trying to say is that when devotees express comments about other devotees, whatever their personal feelings may be, there is no need of insults, fabrications, distortions, concoctions, and nonsensical vitriolic statements. And I've seen this because I've been on the receiving end of many of these kind of comments, which is fine. Devotees are we are in a free country. People are perfectly free to express their views, their realization, their understanding, or what they think of other devotees. But let's not lose sight of what is going on. Let's not lose sight of why we're assembling here. We're not assembling here for a showboat program. This is not a self-promotion program. We're not engaged in some self-aggrandizement program. We are simply engaged in trying to promote Srila Prabhupada as the current Acharya. That is what we're trying to do. Now, some people may not like the approach. They feel it's disrespectful, or we should not be doing this, or we should not be doing that, and we should not be speaking this way or that way. Well, thank you. You can offer your suggestions, and we take it very nicely. We will take the matter under advisement, as is sometimes said in law. But we will not cease and desist from our mission to promote and to preach about the glories of the pure original teachings of and the message of His divine grace, Srila Prabhupada, regardless of whatever may be our faults. I've had an encounter at one point in Canada with a devotee who was livid, saying that you should not be doing this, you used to be like that. And I mentioned to that devotee, I said, well, besides not knowing any facts about my life, my personal life, what I've been through, and the fact that I'm very lucky to still be alive by Srila Prabhupada's mercy and Krishna's mercy, and people who have zero understanding of the historical events that took place after Prabhupada departed in 1978 and 79. But again, as I say, everybody is entitled to their views and their realization. That's nice. But given that I was trained in the legal field for many years, try to get the facts straight. Don't rely on innuendos, fabrications, falsehoods, nonsensical misinterpretations. Control your feelings and focus on Prabhupada rather than outlandish accusations which have no basis in reality. The reason I'm saying this is because some people let their emotions run wild, and it's manifested in vitriolic, abusive, and nonsensical language, which just does not befit a devotee who is engaged in the sadhana bhakti process. And this is very important, because I know that my good friend Vishwakarma has also been subjected to these kinds of nonsensical personal attacks with no factual basis, without understanding the facts, the historical background, and the reality. Now, none of us are perfect. We're not trying to present ourselves as the next acharyas or the next successors or the next real devotees. No, that is not what we're all about. As a matter of fact, I was discussing recently with Vishwakarma how when Lord Chaitanya met Rupa and Sanatana Goswami and Ramaketi, and this is very instructive concerning this discussion. When they first saw Lord Chaitanya, they bowed down and offered respect. That famous prayer that we recite every day, when we offer the Bhoga, Namo Mahabhadanyaya, that you're the most munificent incarnation, this came from Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. Then in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, they were expressing themselves to Lord Chaitanya, and they said, Matulyo nasti papatma na paradicha kaschana pariharete pilajjame kim bruve purushottama. This is a prayer that was composed by Yamunacharya of the Ramanuja Sampradaya, and Rupa Goswami and Sanatan. They expressed that we're the most sinful, we're the biggest offenders, and we are not even ashamed of it. So can they deliver us? I'm paraphrasing here. The point is, this whole effort that is being conducted here, and let us remember, is simply to emphasize the position, the unique historical position of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and his great contribution to human society by these powerful transcendental books and the distribution of the Maha Mantra. Now, before I conclude this section here, I'm quite aware I've been receiving a flood of emails and requests on Facebook's emails. People are complaining that some people in the movement, in the society, the official institutional society, are attempting to trademark and copyright Hare Krishna and the Hare Krishna movement. They're claiming that this belongs to them and nobody else. Let us submissively hear what Srila Prabhupada says about this. This is a letter from Srila Prabhupada to a disciple named Dinesh Das in June 10th, 1969. It's a letter on June 10th, 1969 to Dinesh. And Prabhupada said, I'm in due receipt of your letter dated June 6, 1969, and the copy of the agreement which you sent. The first thing is that I've already given you my word, so there's no need of an agreement with me. My word is final agreement. But if you want it for business reasons, I have no objection to sign it. But the wordings are not always clear. Another thing is, although I have brought this Sankirtan movement to the Western world, we cannot make it copyrighted. The Sankirtan movement is not my invention. So how can it be copyrighted? Besides that, oh, thank you, Rupesh. I think the text is coming on the screen. Besides that, as you will find in the album of my previous recording, the chanting of Hare Krishna is going on since time immemorial. So Hare Krishna cannot be copyrighted. Although the tune in which I sing with my disciples, that may be made copyrighted. I have no objections to sign this agreement, but don't be misled that the chanting of Hare Krishna or Lord Chaitanya's movement can be made copyrighted. So this is a very important point, because some misguided persons under the influence of Maya, thinking that they own Hare Krishna or the Krishna conscious movement, are attempting to copyright that. They have already done that in New Zealand, Australia, in America. Very dangerous tendency. I'll shut up here, go on to the next phase of the program. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for a brilliant and appreciated presentation of our philosophy to this assembly of devotees. It's such a remarkable opportunity to get the association of Prabhupada disciples of different stages in their spiritual development. And I wanted to mention Yashodanandana Prabhu. I was listening to a talk given by Govinda Dasi on her pastimes with Srila Prabhupada. And, you know, we talk about the Vani Vapu philosophy of association by sound and personal association. Now, she was very fortunate. She had quite a bit of association with Srila Prabhupada personally. I think she was his secretary for over a year and a half. And it was a really well-spoken account given by her of some of her pastimes with Prabhupada. It was quite inspiring to hear them. And it was sent to me from a devotee in Germany, Tom Chevrolet, who is, there he is. And it was well appreciated to receive it, and I enjoyed it tremendously. If you have a chance, everyone, you can refer to it. Hopefully, I posted it on the Prabhupada Disciples Association group page on Facebook. So you can go there and watch it. But she told a story about her trying to correct Prabhupada in terms of the articulation of an English term. And Prabhupada corrected her. And she accepted the correction quite properly and humbly. But it appears that some people that were with Prabhupada in the early years treated him with contempt. And this is a mistake, to associate with devotees, the pure devotee, especially in this case, and treat him with familiarity. Familiarity breeds contempt. And I had a particular situation where B.B. Govinda Swami was requested to travel with Prabhupada and do some cooking for him. And we were in Toronto. He regrets this, of course, but we were in desperate need of people to help us maintain the new temple on Avenue Road, which was a very big acquisition for Srila Prabhupada's mission. And we required him to stay with us, and I explained that to people that were requesting for him to leave us. And I explained it to Yojapati that the most important thing is to carry out the instruction of the spiritual master. That personal association is a blessing, but at the same time, to follow his orders in sound vibration is the most important thing. And Govinda Dasi did mention how she would listen to Prabhupada speaking his books. So when Prabhupada was presenting the philosophy to us, he spoke it. He took advantage of technology and his disciples' eagerness to serve him to produce all of these books that he manifested to us during his personal presence, which is an amazing feat of accomplishment and brilliance, actually, quite brilliant. So this association of the pure devotee is through sound, not through vapu. This is the essence of our philosophy. And that's why all of us here in this group, all of us, we constantly read the books. We do. That's why we're here. Well, of course, we have our classes. That's also good. And Prabhupada did say that you need association with devotees, just like in a temple. This is a temple. We have a three program schedule every week, and I do appreciate all of you coming to it. It's not a long time, but it's some time. It's 4.5 hours out of 168 hours a week that we commit to this program. It's very important. Just like a doctor's appointment. If you want to get cured of a disease, you have to go to the doctor's appointment. When do you show up? Nilesh, when do you show up for the appointment with the dentist? Well, you know when. On time. You show up on time. Because you realize if you don't show up on time, he'll cancel your appointment and it's goodbye. Jose, go to somebody else. Don't waste my time. So time is a very valuable thing. And we're discussing here the critical aspect of understanding Guru Tattva, the Guru Tattva system of a bona fide spiritual master in association with other devotees. And the discussion of that is the most important thing in our spiritual life. And to maintain that enthusiasm, to become committed to it, will help us throughout our life to go back home, back to Godhead in just one lifetime. Prabhupada promised that. Is that a very valuable thing, Mataji? Yes, it is. To get this opportunity. A lot of people get in touch with us, Nilesh. They do. And they do appreciate this opportunity that we have to be together and how it's come about by the grace of Kṛṣṇa and Prabhupada. And they appreciate it very much. And for them, we do thank them for their participation and participation in this transcendental science of Krishna consciousness together. Guru, Shastra, Sadhu. We cannot minimize this opportunity of a Vani opportunity to hear Srila Prabhupada's messages, because unfortunately, Prabhupada has left us in his physical form, unfortunately. It was a tragedy, I can tell you that. When it happened, it was a shock. It took me, I'm still not over it, actually, Nilesh. It affected me my whole life. It's almost like no time has passed when I can remember that fateful day on November 14th, 1977. It was just a nightmare. I mean, most of us wept for days. We did it was just, the sorrow could not leave us. But at the same time, we had to carry on, and here we are today in 2024, August 24th, 2024, and we have some solace in this opportunity that has arisen to hear about Prabhupada's great mission and his Vani incarnation in this association of devotees. So we should take advantage of it as much as possible, and we'll march on and come together in this sense of commitment to each other, to work cooperatively, to push this movement forward, and push it forward based on the principles of truth, of Guru Tattva, not some kind of misleading, misdirecting business of people that are in the Guru business in other groups. Yashodanandana Prabhu, if you could further elaborate, and then we'll move to the panel discussion. We have a few people already have their hands up, and we'd like to call upon them. Yes,
I'll keep
Prabhu.
it brief here. Just 1 second.
Yes.
Just trying to get this part. I just wanted to read from a conversation that Srila Prabhupada had. This is in a speech in Vrindavan on April 27th, 1975, in Vrindavan, India, on April 27th, 1975. Prabhupada is talking. So I am very much pleased. I will not take much time. The Aratik time is now. You do not be disappointed by the activities of some envious person. Bhagavata Dharma is meant for the non-envious person. Paramo nitsmat nirmat saranam, Srimad Bhagavatam 112. Anyone who is contaminated by envy, he cannot become Vaishnava. He may be an envious animal, but Vaishnava is Paramamsa. Paramo nirmat saranam is not envious. Paradukka dukki. Vaishnava paradukka dukki. Srila Prahlad Maharaj says, my Lord Nrisimhadev, I have no problem. Naivudvije paraduratyaya vetaranya tvadvirya gayana mahamrita magnachittaha. Bhagavatam 7:943. Personally, I have no problem, but I am sorry, very sorry, because tato vimukta chetasa, those who are bereft of your devotional service for them, I'm sorry. So Vaishnava is sorry for others' difficulties because Vaishnava has no difficulty. He is aprakrita. So, mam chayo vyabhicharini bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaran brahma bhuyaya kalpate. He is on the Brahman platform. He is not on the material platform. Material platform means I'm envious of you, you're envious of me. This is material platform. So as soon as one becomes envious of something, he's on the material platform. He is not Vaishnava. Vaishnava is on the spiritual platform, to whom it may concern. Thank you.
Yes, it's a process of understanding if you have the capacity. One has to have a capacity to be able to receive this information without any confusion. Neela Shama in Florida.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Nice light on your
Jai Shri. Yeah, I've
on
turned
your
off my
camera.
videos because my bandwidth is I'm having some problem with my internet. My bandwidth is low, so rather than lose the connection, I said, let me turn off the video. So, Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Very interesting points here. why are we so, specific about the unadulterated books?
Yeah.
I was just thinking about this, and it came about is that we know that there are certain laws in physics, and one of the laws in physics is gravity. And gravity is what? 9.8 meters per second. It is a very specific number, 9.8 meters per second. Now, imagine if I am a student of physics and I'm an initial student of physics, and I change that 9.8 meters per second to, say, 9.7 or 9.6 meters per second. Just zero point 0.1 or 0.2 meters per second change. And if I were to apply this as an aeronautical scientist who I want to use to get a rocket out of space, will it work? Now, if this applies to the mundane world, imagine applying it to the transcendental world. Can we change even from 9.8 meters per second to even 9.7? That's the question. And I would love to talk about, how Prabhupada talks to us. After I finished last time's discussion, especially with Garuda Prabhu, I came across one of Prabhupada's quote on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 15, Text 28. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 15, Text 28. I'm going to try to read it over here, unless it's possible for you to share the screen. I mean, I'll try to.
Yeah. Rupesh, can you share the screen with Nilesh Sharma, please? Could be possible. Is it shared for you? Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
Thank
That's right.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 15, Text 28. Is this? Yes. Yes. Shri Guru Uvacha, Janma Jnanami Magavan Chatror Unnatir Ashwa Karanam Shishyo Prabha Pratam Tejo Brugabir Brahma Vadibihi. Let's read the translation and the purport.
Yes.
Brihaspati, the spiritual master of the demigod, said, O Indra, I know the cause of your enemies becoming so powerful. The Brahmana descendants of Brigamuni, being pleased by Bali Maharaj, their disciple, endowed him with such extraordinary power. Now look at the background. We are talking about how did Bali Maharaj become so powerful, and what should Indra do to contain this power? Now the question is, how did Bali Maharaj, who is an Asura, who is belonging to the Daityas, become so powerful? Look at what Prabhupada explains to us in the purport. Brihaspati, the spiritual master of the demigods, informed Indra, ordinarily Bali and his forces could not achieve such strength. But it appears that the Brahmana descendants of Brigamuni, being pleased with Bali Maharaj, endowed them with this spiritual power. In other words, Brihaspati informed Indra that Bali Maharaj's prowess was not his own. Bali Maharaj's prowess was not his own, but that of his exalted Guru Shukracharya. We sing every day, Yasya Prasadat Bhagavat Prasado Yasya Prasadat Nagati Kutopi. Now look at this very important statement. By the pleasure of the spiritual master, one can get extraordinary power, especially in spiritual advancement. The blessings of the spiritual master are more powerful than one's personal endeavor for such advancement. Let's highlight this statement. The blessings of the spiritual master are more powerful than one's personal endeavor for such advancement. How are we going to get this, blessings of the spiritual master if we don't listen or we don't follow his instructions? How are we supposed to, reach our final destination if we were going to change the books, if we're going to change things, and if we're going to copyright certain aspects. Why? Because we want more control. It is this control which has got us into this material world to begin with. So, in the beginning of the class, we were reading about Srila Prabhupada's struggle. You know, we too are struggling. We are struggling to bring him back as the only Shiksha and Diksha Guru for us to reach our final destination. Na gati kutopi. Gati means destination. If you do not please the spiritual master, you will never reach your destination. So the choice is yours. If you think that you are going to follow the people who do not follow Srila Prabhupada and you will be able to reach the destination, think again. You need to reread this particular purport. You need to reread many other purports so that we can understand this. And I go back to the life of Jayananda Prabhu. I'm reading that book right now. That how does one become so dedicated? Jayananda Prabhu was never one of those people who was around Srila Prabhupada all the time in a physical aspect. You know, in the book I read is that in 1976 Rath Yatra of New York, and I'm sure Yashodanand Prabhu can shed more light about it, that the temple did not have a budget to build a Rath for the Rath Yatra. But if you see in the videos, there's a grand Rath which has been resurrected by who? By Jayananda Prabhu. And how did they do that? At night, he went around entire Manhattan, driving around to see where he can pick up what kind of logs, what kind of wood, what kind of paraphernalia for him to build the Rath. This is what we are talking about, that if your decision to serve Srila Prabhupada or to serve Kṛṣṇa is so strong, Kṛṣṇa will provide you with things. So coming back to the last point, which I would like to make before I stop, I was thinking about what is the definition of a Vaishnava. We always say, because remember, we are always inundated with what you call threats about Vaishnava Aprad. Oh, you're doing Vaishnava Aprad if you were to do this. So let me share the screen, and I just okay, I cannot share the screen, but I'll share it. That I just looked into Chat GPT. Okay, so let me tell you that I'm not that smart as people may think. So I kind of cheat. I look into artificial intelligence, Chat GPT. If you look at what is a Vaishnava definition, one who is devoted to Vishnu or Kṛṣṇa, one who adheres to the principles of Vaishnavism, one who practices the rituals of Vaishnavism, one who follows the philosophy and who is ready for spiritual disciplining. Now, how can we prove this? Through Bhagavad Gita 9.2.2, where Kṛṣṇa says, Anaschyantanto mam ya jaina parush upayate tesham nitya bhyuktanam yogakshemam mahamyaham. To those who are constantly devoted or who worship me with love, I give them the understanding by which they can come to me. Bhagavad Gita 12.13 and 14. Adveshta sarva bhutanam maitra karuna evacha nirmano nirahankara samasangah vivarjataha. He who is not envious but is kind to all living entities, who does not think himself as the proprietor, who is free from false ego and is equal both in happiness and distress, and who is content, mentally steady and self-control, and whose mind and intellect are fixed on me, such a devotee is very dear to me. But the most important I would come to is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2.6. Dharma projitah kaitavya tro pramo nirmat sharanam satam vaishnavam vidayam manam bhagavatyam adhamam. Completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated. Look at this. Completely rejecting all religious activities. I'm not talking about mundane activities. I'm talking religious activities which are materially motivated. This Bhagavatam Purana propounds the highest truth, which is unadulterable, understandable by those devotees who are free from envy. Now, I humbly request everyone over here to revisit this 1 to 6 of Srimad Bhagavatam and revise it and think, is that who is really envious? Are we trying to capitalize on anything? Is Yashodanandan Prabhu trying to say, okay, please pay $5 per class or pay $10 per class for this? Are we trying to copyright the Hare Krishna Mahamantra just so that we can make some more money? And if they do copyright it, and even if they are successful, you can reject this religious principle. And this is written in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So I'd love to know what Yashodanandan Prabhu has to say about this. Hare Krishna.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Very insightful points here in today's discussion and reading. And Yashodanandana Prabhu, I see Panchagoda Das has written some interesting comments on our chat. If you happen to refer to the chat in the class, you'll be able to see it. I'll read this latest comment that he's written and have Yashodanandana Prabhu respond to it for us. And then as we move to the end of the program, Panchagoda says, Das, to everyone, also they switched Janmashtami celebration from Monday, the 24th of August. Actually, I was looking at the Mayapur calendar. I want to be corrected if it's wrong. It said the 26th, the one from Mayapur. And both by Mayapur and local astrological calendars to the 24th, Sunday, a day before, just because the so-called pure devotee Trivikram Swami is there to do an initiation, as he posted earlier, and have visited our small city. So this fellow's in Ukraine. Did Srila Prabhupada ever move the celebration of such great dates for the day before? Of course, such comparison is not proper. Yashodanandana, if you could please comment.
Well, first of all, Trivikram Swami is my old friend, so I'm going to try to go a little light on him. I've read some of the other comments. There is a lot of emotion in discussing these issues with many people. And the reason is, although while Prabhupada was manifestedly present with us from 65 to 1977, what took place after Srila Prabhupada departed has left many people traumatized, including many of us.
Yes.
Because we never expected that people would ever dare to sit on a high seat in front of Srila Prabhupada, or dare to have their pictures on the altar, or dare to have themselves glorified with a pada title. And this caused tremendous problems in the mission. It divided the mission irreparably. Now, coming to the specific points, according to the Mayapur calendar, on Monday, next Monday, right now it's Saturday, and 2 days from now will be Janmashtami. I know that in America, the times are different. There's the difference in time between India and America, and that many persons will observe it on Sunday to have more people, give a chance to more people to take part in the festivities and the program. Whatever may have been the reasons behind this change, whatever it may be. It's notable that some devotees are still preaching in some areas where there's ongoing war, which is, noteworthy. The devotees are taking risks to serve Srila Prabhupada. Okay. As far as, for example, Neil Shyama Prabhu says, the real reason more donations as Sunday is more convenient for donations than on Monday, like many Hindu temples. Well, that is a fact. That is an undeniable fact that many dates are sometimes adjusted to correspond on weekend dates so that more people will participate, whatever there may be their motivation. So we'll leave it at that. As far as moving the celebration, the date of the celebration is the date of celebration. But for practical preaching purposes, we've seen people do that with different dates, whether it's Lord Chaitanya's birthday, Lord Narasimha's birthday, Lord Ramachandra, Ram Navami. They may adjust it and have the festival on a weekend to get more people to participate. So that is the position.
Excellent. And I wanted to sort of expand on Nilesh Sharma's point about changing the details in in a material activity like he was describing from a scientific point of view. If you change one part of the formula, will it change the whole situation? And the answer he so nicely explained was it will. It does change it. So this is an issue that people seem to miss in terms of Guru Tattva principles. And Panchagoda here has made a good point about Trivikram. I know him too. He wasn't a bad person back then, but he's changed. He's not the same person. He's become motivated out of personal self-aggrandizement to become a guru, Diksha guru, and it's not authorized, period. Not authorized. This fellow is making a huge mistake for himself personally and for the people that he's enlisting in his little cult. And that's serious. There are 4 kinds of demoniac people. There's the Mudha, Naradama, Duskritina, and Asura. If people take this philosophy and use it for their own personal motivation, whatever it might be, that is the greatest sin you can commit as a devotee. Gorora Vagya, and you're doomed along with the people that follow you. That's the fact. And if anybody thinks it's different, then they have to reassess how they understand this philosophy. Maybe they don't have the capacity. This is a serious matter. Yes, Yashoda Prabhu. Go ahead,
I just want to
please.
read on the topic that Neil Sharma Prabhu was discussing.
Yes.
And also what I talked earlier during my brief talk.
Yes.
This is a conversation in the database of Srila Prabhupada discussing about the philosopher Hegel, Hegel. Prabhupada, just like there is an English proverb, Caesar's wife must be above suspicion. So anyone who is on the position of teacher, he must be above suspicion. That is our first acceptance of teacher. We don't accept any teacher who is under suspicion. How can he be teacher if he's under suspicion? Now, they may question that if you're above suspicion. No, I'm not above suspicion, but I'm carrying the message which is above suspicion. Therefore, I am above suspicion. And this is directly related to some people who offer occasional vitriolics and envious comments about our lowly selves. That you people have done this, you people may have done that, whatever. What are we doing now? What message are we presenting now? This is exactly what Prabhupada was discussing. We're presenting the unadulterated, original, pure Vani of Srila Prabhupada. And some people who are embroiled and entangled in this love, puja, pratishta, profit, adoration, and distinction, have a hard time dealing with this because it interferes with their guru business. Remember who coined that term the first time? Solochan. What happened to him for trying to discuss the issues? What happened to him? We'll leave it at that. Hare Krishna.
Yes. And, we're going to wrap up the program, and thank you, everyone, for joining us. But I wanted to make a comment, which is that when you do things like this, Nilesh, when you march off and create and concoct through mental concoction these types of deviant cults or groups, then it becomes apparent that these groups are irrelevant now. They're truly irrelevant in the terms of the pushing on of the Sankirtan movement, and they will dissipate and disappear in due course of time, just like we're seeing. The sectarianism that they have, Kṛṣṇa West, Kṛṣṇa Life, all these individual groups that are being created by these fraudulent gurus will not sustain. They won't. They'll go away. Because the foundation of their principles is based on offenses against Srila Prabhupada and his directions. They have not studied the books carefully. They have not accepted the points, but rationalized them for their own personal motive. And this is the foundation of their confusion. And it's a sad thing. It's irrelevant. They are irrelevant to us. We're discussing it because that's the point of discussion. Philosophy is to discuss the truth and come to a clearer understanding of what is the reality in terms of Prabhupada's teachings through his books, through his letters, most importantly. Just one point here, Nilesh. If you go to the letter to Rupanuga Prabhu from Srila Prabhupada in 1974, it very clearly explains the position of his godbrothers in relation to himself. Now, someone would hear that, they go, oh, well, that doesn't apply to all of us. Okay, so that's their capacity to understand it. They don't have the capacity. But it's very clear in black and white what was Prabhupada's position in terms of how we should deal with his godbrothers. So these are things for all of us to think about and continue to study and practice in our own lives. And we want to thank you for joining us again today at the Bhagavad Gita class. Thank you, Prabhu. Very much appreciated. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow for Srimad Bhagavatam class from the original, unedited. Here we are. And we're moving forward to get this printed and get everyone that's donated a copy of this Srimad Bhagavatam 1961. Very interesting, Nilesh, today, how Prabhupada related us to the Gita Press in the last section of this diary. Very interesting. So we'll pursue that as well. All glories to the Sankirtan movement. Let's have the chanting of Hare Krishna with Srila Prabhupada leading on the bongo and so many, Bhakta Jad. We want to thank him for doing this new video. And then we have the ending of the program, and we'll carry on with our day. All glories to the Sankirtan mission. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Thanks, everyone, for participating in this reading and discussion on Bhagavad Gita. We invite everybody to come tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, corresponding to 10 a.m. Florida time and Montreal, Canada time, Hamilton, Ontario time. Let us offer our respectful obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thanks, everybody, for participating. Thanks, Pran Mohini. Thanks, Yasmin Mataji in Hamilton, Ontario. Thanks, Karen Felici. Thanks, everybody, Vishwakarma Prabhu for holding the program, Rupesh Prabhu for conducting the program. Of course, our good friend Venkat Bhatta in Bangalore Prabhu for masterminding this whole program in the first place. And everybody, especially Neil Sharma Prabhu, with your insightful comments and that beautiful purports from the Srimad Bhagavatam. That was really, really on point. Thank you, everybody. And I don't want to forget our good friend Kṛṣṇa Patkata Prabhu, who is leading the effort for this reprinting of the Srimad Bhagavatam. He's tireless, dedicated, and very diligent. Bhakta Siran Singh in Sacramento, California, and everybody who's listening, thank you for your efforts to listen to the wonderful words and message of Srila Prabhupada in his Bhagavad Gita. Tomorrow morning, let us assemble and hear again from our great Acharya Srila Prabhupada for hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare